And welcome to the Merry Boozers channel, guys. We have a fun night in store, hanging out with our buddies here on the chat. You know, a Sunday night is never complete without hanging out with the Boozers. And tonight you get us and some of our friends, which you've all come to know and love. So it's been a fun day for me. I got to finally fly the E-flite 1500mm P-51 today. It was a wonderful experience. Plane flies absolutely fantastic and has tons of horsepower.
And I got to hear him going, "Oh my God, it's got a lot of power. Oh my God, this is great." So it must have a lot of power with the 6S, guys.
It does.
It looked like it on the video that I watched for just a short period of time. So,
anyway,
we'll see.
We did have a request on the video where we had the silver Papa Dots. What kind of pin does Papa use for that? And we brought it here, so we're going to pull this up on the screen and see if we can't show you this real quick.
We got it
at Michael's. Hang on, I'm trying to get it to focus here for a second.
It's called I forgot what it was.
You get this. There you go.
Recollections.
Recollections.
And it's got a medium point.
Metallic.
Uh-oh, there we go.
There you go.
So get your little paper out. It's Recollection.
There's what the tip looks like.
There we go.
And
it is paint. It looks like paint that comes out, silver paint that comes out of the end. But I really like that particular pin or something similar to it.
Anyway,
so that's that. Now,
and then the black dots.
This is the one that I use where it actually penetrates the foam. The one I like the best. Is it called a Zig?
Something like that. Zig.
Zig Rider. And it's got, what's the tip on it? Is it medium tip? What does it say?
Here's a fat end on one side.
I don't use the fat end. I use the other end.
Well, you use the fat end when you're doing the bigger dots.
No, I don't. Well, I don't really. But
there's the tip.
That's the tip that I use to do the dots.
Just the tip.
And it says something about what size of tip it is. But
I don't remember.
Well, it's on the pin.
Oh, well, I got to try and read this through a camera. Oh, okay, it's an O. Hang on, it's right here. Focus. Well, it's a .05.
Yeah,
there you go.
.05.
It says it right there, but you can't. You know how hard this is when it's this little screen and I'm trying to read it
so fast.
Anyway, good enough. Back to the front.
Yeah, one more thing. Everybody's asked me, how long does it take you to dot one of these things? Well, when I got here
I guess give me that camera again.
When I got here tonight, I did only 1/2 of the top, not the bottom or any sides. Just 1/2. I did the F-35. I hate jets because they require more dots.
There we go.
But it took me 1 hour to do half an airplane. Okay?
Yep, just the top. He's done half of this F-35 while we've been sitting here.
Just to see, you can see where I stopped right here. But everybody asked me, how long does it take you? How long does it take you? Of course, you got to realize that I've been doing this a lot more, so it'll take you a little bit longer. But after you get used to it. But
non-dotted side.
That was 1 hour for me to do a quarter of the plane.
All right, back to the front.
A quarter of the airplane took me 1 hour. So if I did it all, it would be 4 hours to do that airplane.
Yep.
Now, taking it that you might be a little bit greener than I am, maybe a little bit longer on your first airplane. So that answers that question.
That question. There you go. So, we have a community member that you guys all know is EQRC, or Eric Quinn. And he has put up a video this week of him installing his Boozer stickers. If Lori's got that video,
he's actually did like 3 of them, did he?
He did. He did like 3 of them, and we wanted to give him a little shout out here on the channel today.
Appreciate him.
Lori's getting that pulled up right now.
Another thing that I did not know that Wesley requested is that we did do the nose art in a circle, and it was all solid. So if you just wanted the girl, you had to cut it out. But now he has talked to
Callie's making them to where they print with the girl separate.
And you're going to see that on the video. So if that answers your question, that you only want the girl and not the Mary Boozer thing on it, it comes, watch this and you'll see how it works.
Well, we'll just show you a little piece of it tonight. If you want to see the video,
go watch it.
Eric, you can, I believe you're a moderator, drop a link to your video. If She'll play it. Oh, did the camera just turn off?
Yeah. Let's just watch the video.
Yeah, there you go. Turn the video on for a second. It's not playing. There you go. Of him putting that on there, but Lori, if you want to restart our camera real quick while that's playing. Our camera decided to turn off.
But you can see that if you can see through that, it's kind of hard to see when it's still on the paper, but that's just the girl now, and you don't get the Mary Boozer. You still get the Mary Boozer with it, but it's separate. So that eliminates that problem. If you don't want Mary Boozer on your airplane, then you can just put the girl on the airplane. And another thing is that I understand we're going to have some neuters.
They're coming to Cali graphics.
They're coming to Cali. The boss just told the other boss to get them done. So
they are coming.
If you want some more girls that are a little bit more exposed,
they will be here soon.
They will be here soon.
On Cali graphics. There we go. She got our camera fixed. Hi everybody. It decided to turn off randomly. I hate when that does that. Anyway, good job, Eric.
Yeah, good
Send
job,
a link down in the chat. You guys know him. It's EQRC. Go on and check him out, guys. He's doing great stuff.
Let him finish what it looks like when he gets
Let's
it
see.
off.
Does he pull it off right here?
He pulls it off.
Da-na-na-na.
Well, it shows you how easy they are to put on and take off.
What?
I mean, he does a very good job. You kind of have to. You can't just rip them off.
No, you gotta take your time.
You gotta take your time. Make sure they're stuck down. They do stick very well. After you put them on there, you will remove the paint to get them off.
And look at that good-looking girl on there.
And
he did his Corsair and a couple other planes. But guys, yeah, definitely check him out. He's been around us for a long time. We got to meet him at Joe Knoll last year, and then I got to see him at Fall Knoll. So it's awesome to get to shout him out a little bit here on the channel finally tonight.
And I forgot which one.
I don't know why my camera's doing weird stuff.
Oh, that's
right
the
now.
one I have on tonight. Is the one.
That's right. He's got what's her name? Rosie.
No, which one's this?
Cassie.
Cassie.
The camera's being funky.
Cassie.
I don't know. Anyway, guys, go check him out though. He's doing some wonderful stuff, and you know we said we wanted to. It's got our targeting systems on right now. Look, pads on.
I'm figuring that. Sorry, it was one thing at a time.
Technical difficulties. It wouldn't be the Boozers without it. Anyway, we wanted to give him a shout out though because, like I said, if you guys send us stuff throughout the week, we're going to try and show it on here.
Now let's talk about one more thing that you did last week, and let's remind these guys about what we'd like them to do. About sending us pictures of the airplanes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want.
So guys, every week we have a Facebook group, and I have an Instagram. If you send us a picture of what you're working on, your airplane, tell me a little bit about it. We'll shout you out here on the channel and just kind of say, hey, look what, tell me your YouTube name, and I'll say, look what, EQ was doing this week. EQRC. Look at his Mary Boozer stickers that he put on.
If you redo a cockpit.
I put a new cockpit. I painted my airplane.
You put some Boozer girls on it, or you just want to show your airplane off, send us some photos.
Pictures.
We want to put you on here.
If you've got a link to your YouTube video, maybe we'll cut a few seconds of it in if you want us to.
I hope you guys enjoy that. I'd like to see other people's what they're doing, and I think a lot of other guys would like to see what you're doing. So if that's a good idea and you'd like to do that, send us the videos or a photo.
As much as I'd love to have every one of you on as a guest, it's just not feasible in the year with all the other stuff. We do have some new releases coming. We've got tanks. I have officially got 2 on order. They sold out the same day that they came out, and I got the 2 I wanted, so that's all that matters. There are a few left if you guys are looking for tanks, but if you wanted a Tiger or a brain fart, I can't remember what the other one was. Panther. No, Panzer. If you wanted a Panzer 4 or a Tiger 1, they sold out like that. So I got mine like as soon as they went live, I ordered them. But without further ado, I think...
Let's see, one more thing. I just went... But anyway.
Well, okay, I think we should get our guest on here.
Sure.
We've had him hanging out in the wings long enough. Let's get him on here and let's start BSing with our buddies.
No.
So without further ado, drum roll please. VRC Air Marshal.
I forgot to say that.
There he is.
Oh, I don't know if he's unmuted yet. Oh, he is.
I
There he
am.
is.
Sorry,
Ooh,
I
he
got
seems
you
really
a
loud.
message.
Maybe that's just me though. So what's up, man? How's everything going?
It's going great. Thanks for having me. I appreciate
Dude,
it.
it's always a pleasure when we get to hang out with our buddies here on the channel and when we can support you guys. You know, when we started out, we were lucky enough that Pilot Ryan really took us under his wing and he promoted us.
Yep.
And, you know, we want to never forget where we came from. And we want to share that love to you guys as you guys get going. And anytime I see somebody that's really kicking butt, I want to shout them out. And man, lately you've been doing such excellent work, whether it be your Spectrum videos, your flight videos, your live shows. You've been really kicking butt lately, man. And we wanted to show you our appreciation by letting you come on here and meet some of our subscribers. Maybe some of ours are a little different than yours. I know there's a lot of our guys that cross over and they'll love seeing you here at the channel. But maybe you'll see some new guys tonight you haven't got to see yet.
So how long have you actually been doing your channel? Just putting
How long has
all
your channel
effort
been
into
going
it?
now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I started my channel. I remember. So I used to be in all of y'all's live shows, right?
yes.
I used to
Yeah.
watch Pilot Ryan. And back then, my YouTube was just Dave Marshall, and you guys, we've traded jokes back and forth in chats and stuff long before I started doing YouTube channels. And I remember being in Pilot Ryan's show one night, and I was asking him, some silly question like we all do, like, hey, what's the best first jet to get? Whatever, what should I do? And he had said something like, get this, get that, whatever he said at the time. And then he said, and you should make a video of it and put it on YouTube. And I was like, fine. So back in, I think, September is when I got the E-Flight Viper and I decided to put it up on YouTube. And I didn't do anything else until probably December timeframe. So, the channel is obviously very young, but in December, I had put up another video because Dave's RC, I won a Bigfoot on Dave's RC, and was like, man, that's super cool. I'm going to put this up too. And then I went live one night, just to see if I could do a live stream. And like 20 people jumped in, and I was like, what the heck is this? It's just a test. And it just happened to be on a Monday night, and someone said, hey, you should call this like Air Marshal Mondays. And I was like, that sounds awesome.
And here it is.
And another thing is how many subscribers you got now? So
Yeah.
you've only been doing this like 4 or 5 months, right?
Like, yeah.
How many?
Really in earnest, it started back in like December. And now we're in February. So yeah, like 3 months. It's really blowing up.
gosh,
And
yeah.
I love it.
Growing like crazy.
I remember how long it took us to get to 700.
It took forever. It felt like forever.
Yeah, and you got there really
You got there
quickly,
fast.
So you must be doing something right. Is what I'm trying
That's
to do.
that's what I'm saying too. We've been watching for a while, and I said, this guy's doing it right. Let's get him on the show. Let's show everybody what he's doing. So and I did see. So let me ask you this: I flew my E-Flight Mustang today. Did you get yours fixed?
Yes, I did. So when I won't call it crashing. I kind of pancaked it, on a landing, and ended up busting I actually broke both retracts on the plane. One of them, the trunnion, just broke, so the gear was just flopping around. And on the second one, the plastic casing, where it bolts up into the wing, that plastic casing, or it snapped, where the screws go into the wing. So I took the plastic casing off of one retract and took 2 broken retracts and made 1 working one. I was able to just replace 1 retract and get some new propeller blades, and I was back in the sky,
That's
man.
great.
Good to go.
Man, it flies great. Like I said, I had the chance to finally try it today, and it's fantastic. I saw Alpha's actually in here tonight, too, so shout out Alpha. Welcome to the chat.
You want me to put my order again?
Yeah, we got to do our thing every week when Alpha's here. We want a big B25.
I'm not big.
Oh, but man, yeah,
Yeah, no,
crazy. So,
no, and I think I had mentioned to you, we got to talking last week over Facebook Messenger, and I think I had mentioned to you at the time, like, this is my first real big Warbird. Like, I haven't even been flying RC very long. I've been doing surface RC for 20 something years. So I only jumped into RC aviation probably 4 years ago. But I've been flying. Like I flew my apprentice for a long time, and then I switched over to like an E-flight commander, and I flew a bunch of flight test planes, and just did a lot of I don't know if you want to call it recreation or whatever, but my goal the whole time was get into EDF jet, and I just never asked in any of these YouTube chats until I started bugging Ryan. Like, hey man, what jet should I
right.
get? But that seems to be like a question that he gets every
Right.
week.
Oh, I'm sure constantly. I get it all the time,
So
too.
give us the answer of, since you are, I take it you are experienced in the jets now. So what is your favorite jet?
Currently, I guess.
Currently.
Like favorite jet
That-
that a beginner should
Well, let's-
buy?
but what
So-
Wait. Let's start there. What was your beginner
First
jet, and then what is your favorite jet currently?
currently?
So my first jet was the E-flight
Okay.
Viper, and
Kind of hard to
it's
land.
great, but I wouldn't recommend it to somebody as a first jet. My favorite jet now is by far the free wing Avanti
Yep.
S, 8 millimeter.
Yeah.
I can agree.
That thing is amazing.
So have you tried an L39 yet?
I have
So
not. So I've got, so in here I've got six jets, 7 maybe. Anyway, I don't have an L39, and jets are not something that people are like, yeah, man, try
Right.
mine.
Right. Yeah, you're flying by. Well, it depends. You can get there, but it takes a while. I've been doing it since I was 13, and I'm 32 now, and I'm now at the point where people are like, "Hey, will you maiden my plane for me?"
Yeah.
Now, I do get that quite a bit. Hey, make sure my plane's flying well, because I've progressed pretty quickly with the hobby, I guess. So I became a flight instructor this past year for our field, and went ahead and joined in the what is it, the
Just make it
Horizon,
rain, Lori.
the Horizon
If you touch
flight
me,
coach thing.
keep dealing with it.
So, I progressed pretty quick, but I don't have a lot of jets. I've got like 6 or 7, which I guess compared
That's
to
a
some
lot.
folks, that are like, man, yeah. I guess compared to some folks, mine's growing faster. But after flying that P-51, and really getting my taste of a big Warbird, it's like, wow, I've been missing out on so much.
Yeah. I tell you what, if you want to, have you got the Corsair?
Oh man.
I don't. I believe my next big one is probably going to be the 1600 Spitfire
Well, that's
flight
another
line.
good-
Fantastic airplane. I'm going to address something real quick, since everybody's been hurt since we did it. Lori is going wrench apocalypse right now, so you are all getting wrenches. You get a wrench. You get a wrench. Everybody gets a wrench.
See, Dave, you're talking in my world now. This is my world that I enjoy the most, is the Warbirds. The Warbirds that I enjoy are, and I wish I could say there was some other brand. I mean, everybody thinks we're Motion, but Motion to me at the present moment is through Flightline. The 1600 stuff is the plane to go with if you are an experienced. If you're an experienced pilot and you want to go over to the Warbirds, that Corsair is just
Just
a
hit them
dream.
as they pop up.
So
right at
I'm
the
just
bottom.
the Corsair
Sorry.
is
Don't worry about it. Huge
is
thing.
more forgiving because of the wide landing gear. The Spitfire is less because of the narrow landing gear, but it really is a true great plane to fly. I'm just waiting for the next one to come out. I mean, that's my
The 1600 millimeter Warbirds to us are the best size.
All
Now,
larger.
I haven't tried the 1700 FMS. I've always wanted to. But that 1600 millimeter size is the sweet spot.
It's a
1450,
it's the same
1500,
size, it's about
16,
a
somewhere in
60
there.
gas, the old 60
Yeah.
gas. It has on the 6S power. The power is there, the size is there, the weight
flight
is there.
time.
It's just almost perfect now. It's still not 15 minutes, but I'm ringing out about
6 to 7 though. I
minutes.
got 7 minutes on that E-Flight
And that's
Mustang
plenty of
today.
time. So that's my pitch on that part on the Warbirds. But like you said, you're just now getting to experience that, and that's great.
Right. And I've got like a small. I want to say it's a 980 mil. It's an old E-Flight, and when I say old, it's probably 14, 15 years old. It's an old P-47, an old Jug that was given to me. So I've got that, and I've flown it, and it's awesome, but it's not the same. Like the newer that P-51 is awesome. I just got to figure out how to get it off the ground. I've gotten to where I can take them off really well. And that's part of the challenge. The other challenge is, the other mandatory part of flying, which is landing.
And you'll learn that the Mustangs and things are a lot more difficult in crosswinds than these EDFs. Tricycle gear versus tail dragger. Huge difference taken off. Plus you have the P factor of that prop spinning. Makes a big difference.
Oh yeah. Which I figured that out on the first day. The first day I took that P-51 out, we had a pretty nasty crosswind of about 12 to 15 miles an hour, and as soon as the tail would lift up off the ground, I mean that thing was getting blown around. It's not. These aren't concepts that I'm not familiar with because I do have a couple of tail draggers. But those tail draggers have a lot more rudder authority than a Mustang does. A Mustang doesn't have a ton of rudder authority, so I wasn't expecting to really have to crank on it.
You do, though. Especially with that big four-bladed prop swinging up there. If you're not ready for it, man, when you give it the coals, she'll turn. And if you really give it the power with that 6S power system, I mean, it'll turn 90 degrees on you.
Oh yeah. I figured that out too. To really come in like nice and the thing was coming off the ground at probably 30% power.
But you guys don't understand. If you were to go back in the old days and you would build up a wood P-51 with a 60 size motor on it, you guys talk about turkey. It was heavy.
Oh yeah.
And it was not balanced like these planes today.
One thing that saves these planes today is how much lighter they are.
They are lighter.
I know a lot of guys go, foam, whatever, but you get more scale detail in a foam plane for way less effort. Let me put it that way. You can get there with a balsa, but not for $500 and go, all right, there it is.
Yeah, and you're not going to get the four-bladed prop. You're
Four-bladed prop.
Two-bladed prop because it's outperformance on the. But it's just. I cannot believe. I wouldn't go back to one. I mean.
Oh yeah.
There's no way. And I flew the old stuff. I mean, I sat there for 60 hours and built up P-51, and I'll show you one out in the barn, and I wouldn't get that thing out for nobody.
I got one in there that's ready to go.
Well, I know, but I mean, I'm just saying, guys, that it's real nice to build the balsa stuff.
But man, it's hard to go
when
back.
they really started, the gas airplanes really started to come into their own, and the Warbirds, when they started making the Warbirds out of a fiberglass fuse with a built-up wing.
It made them lighter.
Lightness out of it, and they really flew kind of like these foamies today. But that was the quarter scale I had back in the day with a 180 Sato 4-stroke, and it had plenty of power. but you still had to put an ignition system on it to keep it running. Now, some people will say, oh, no, I always had that. I didn't have a problem with it dying, but you had to put a glow system on it to keep it running. And that was back in the day. This is so much
Easier.
It's what
Even
I'm
the
trying to
ARFs
get at,
and the
guys,
gassers today
is
are
these things
easier.
come out of the box and all that is figured out for you. You don't. Only thing you have to worry about is making sure your CG is not too far back. If you get it in the front and you get a little nose heavy, you're going to do a great flight, and then you just kind of progress from there to get it zeroed in. But in the old days, you had better make sure that CG was from the get-go, or you was going to bite the dirt. So anyway, enough of that. But I'm glad you're enjoying your sport. I mean, it sounds like you're really having a ball. And here you are. Here you are on your channel.
I mean to tell you.
Yeah, and I'm a guest with the Boozers, man, and that means I've come.
You've already come a long way. Look at
that. That was an old commercial, and way back when. You've come a long way, baby.
So, is there a certain video you would like to kind of show for a second and talk about and tell people that haven't seen your channel before, maybe get them interested in your channel? We could cut something in for a second for you.
Man, all my videos suck.
Oh, come on.
Look, if you've
let me
got
tell you-
that many people,
Let me tell you something about making sucky videos, okay? Go back and look at the Boozers beginning videos and how bad they were. But you know what? We were trying, and people still enjoyed it. The biggest thing I can tell you right now is make your sucky videos. Enjoy it. Make the friends and the people as you go. And then when you look back, well, I'm going to tell you this. In a year from now, go back and watch your first 5 videos and go, oh my God, look how bad our videos used to be. If you don't do that, you're not doing something right because you're not upping your game every week. I still go back 2 months ago and I look at our videos and go, oh man, look how much we've done in 2 months to make our videos better.
you know, I really went back. The first video we made was on the
It wasn't bad.
It was on the Spitfire.
Right.
I thought we did a wonderful job, but our cameras
We were filming them on a cell phone. You know, we learned a lot. And then we went to our Canon, and the Canon was good. But that's the thing I'm trying to get across to you is even though you're new right now, it's okay to make some stuff that you think isn't the best. It is. As long as you're creating, you're doing the right thing.
And giving information that people
The information. Oh my gosh, your Spectrum videos right now, they're better than Spectrum's videos.
Yeah.
Right. And that's really been my thing is to make sure that even if I can't put out the best video quality, you know, I mean, we film everything on a freaking iPhone, right? So, you know, even if I can't put out the best quality video, I at least want to make sure that the information that I'm putting out is valid and that I don't sound like I'm coming across like a shill, because I can promise you no one's paying me anything for any of this.
Talking about the iPhone, and just to get into this for other guys that are debating on doing YouTube videos or whatever, the iPhone is a fantastic camera for doing up close, Kevin. On the bench. Thank you, Gooniac. Thank you, Kevin, both for your super chat. Sorry. The iPhone is a fantastic thing for doing videos. Right up here, here's what I'm doing, that kind of stuff. It's great. Air videos, the thing becomes a dot out there because it's a super wide angle lens. But anywhere in the house, it's fine.
And I'll tell you, poor Amy, you know, my wife, she goes out and she'll be the one filming the videos, and she's got the phone, and, you know, she's like pinching and zooming and doing all this crazy crap with her fingers, and I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, just shut up.
Well, it sounds like you might have to get her camera. You know, the camera we use is called a Canon T6i Rebel. You can get them used for like $200 on the Facebook Marketplace. They're flooded with them down here. And you might check it out. It's cheap. It does 1080, or it does 60 frames a second and 1080p, which is plenty for YouTube. And man, we rock and roll it, and it does everything we ever need to do. So I would recommend, if you're really serious about doing the YouTube thing, invest in a good DSLR camera. And take it off of autofocus. Nobody wants to see blurry stuff. Use the focus ring.
And one of the
Right.
other things on the other side is start keeping all your receipts because you are in the business.
Well, one day you might want to
might
turn
want
this
to
into the
do
RC
this
Air
into
Marshal
the-
business.
The good old IRS might want to see those things.
Well, if things keep progressing the way that they are, I mean, it seems ridiculous to me right now, but there's a good shot that we could be monetized, within the next 3 to
There you
6
go.
months. I mean, that seems absolutely crazy, but I know that as soon as that happens, yeah, I got to start keeping track of everything, and every plane that I buy becomes a tax
you go.
write-off now.
Yes! Yeah, that's exactly right. Yes. But but I want to, one thing that Wesley and I keep trying to remind ourselves is that we're doing this because we enjoy it.
Not
We're
for any of that.
Ask GB Linden or other people that says, that's got a lot more subscribers we do, but they're, I don't think GB's trying to do it for money. I think he's doing it for the love
fun of the hobby.
Other guys that we've met, there's a little bit of it in there. You want a
everybody.
little performance,
Hey,
but at the
you
same
want to
time-
make a little bit of return on your investment of doing this
Yeah,
every
but
week and
at
every.
the
But
same
but at the
time-
same time, you still have to actually love what you're doing. You know
I
what
don't
mean?
think Ryan does it for the.
Everybody does it for having a little money. Let's not get it wrong, guys.
But it's not number one. I don't
No.
think it's number one thing for any of these guys, and it's the money thing. I think it's first the love of the sport and the love of the people you run into, and then if you get anything after that, it's just
There you go. Dave's Dave's,
guys.
Jeff's Custom RC, and he's another guy that I keep trying to get on here.
yeah, it's a
And
passion.
I just hadn't
Jeff,
made it
that's
happen,
correct.
but it's a passion. We got to get Jeff on
We
here
got to
too.
get
Yeah,
Jeff
Jeff's
on
got
here.
it
So
right.
I hopefully that's what we come across with every time we're on this YouTube channel is that I've been doing this since 1982, and believe me, I've spent more than I've ever got
Oh, God.
paid for. So
I've been doing
I
it
love
since
this.
then
I mean,
too, but I've really been buying airplanes since I was
But,
2 years ago, and
I
I'm way in the hole.
I don't know what it is about these little model planes, but here I am 67 and I still get the thrill every time I go out there and fly one of these things. And I've tried golf and that didn't work. I found out I don't like golf and golf don't like me. And I've always kind of been athletic most of my life. And golf didn't thrill me that much or any other thing. I play softball, but this is still my love.
Oh yeah.
Is these model airplanes?
Yeah.
So
And that's funny. So, I spent some time in the Navy, and I was a chief in the Navy at one point. And, that seemed to be like the pastime for everybody that was a chief or above in the Navy. Like, if you weren't playing golf every afternoon, you were not part of the in crowd. So I tried golf too. And I am so glad that I decided to put my cars away and start buying airplanes instead, because this is way better.
it's a lot.
It's a lot more
less
rewarding.
forgiving.
It's a lot less forgiving than RC cars, but it's also very rewarding.
And it's more challenging than the cars. But I mean, I understand people to do the cars.
I like my RC cars; they're hanging up on the thing, but it's a lot different.
But this is life or death, man.
Life or death, exactly. When you screw up with a car, it's like, oh, I hit a wall, it bounced off. I got to replace a shock. When you screw up with a plane, it's like, well, that one's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny. Like you guys can see this the little UMX turbo timber behind me because I'm staging for tomorrow night's show. But I took this thing out for its first flight, and I tell you, it kind of reminded me of Ryan's Havoc video, getting too comfortable too quick. Dude, this thing flies amazing. Number one, for a little sneak preview for those of you that are going to be in the show tomorrow night, this little UMX Turbo Timber is, don't be afraid of them discontinuing the original Turbo Timber or the original UMX Timber. Let it go. and go get one of these because this thing is the new king of the
So,
UMX. It
I
is
bought
awesome.
a UMX Timber when they were on sale, and then sure enough, like 2 weeks later, that one came out, and I was like, dang it! So I haven't even flown mine yet.
And this,
Brand new in the box.
yeah, this thing, it is awesome. And I took it out of the box. I was flying it. The thing's great. On like probably the 6th or 7th pack, I ran through it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do some Wesley Miller flying, and I was doing an inverted pattern and was gonna bring it over the runway, and I pulled back on the stick and pulled back way too hard, and it went thunk, like just face planted right into the dirt, and broke the whole front of the airplane off, but that's okay because
Now you need to show people how to fix it.
Little bit of super glue, man. I took it back out today and ran like
Can't
20
even
more
tell it
batteries
was
through the
smashed.
thing, dude. This thing is, yeah, right.
You must have hit pretty hard to tear up a UMX plane. They don't weigh nothing to start with.
Oh, I whacked it into the ground pretty good, man.
Our camera turned off again. It does it every 30 minutes. It's annoying. And she fixed it already? Hang on.
Nope.
You're the star of the show right now. Our camera's turned off.
When we point at you and do a tap dance, you got to do it.
Yeah, start tap dancing for
Yep,
us.
we got.
I'm back.
We're back. Hey.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime girl. Well,
Yep. So to y'all's point, though, I appreciate what you guys do, and some portion of the reason that I was able to progress in the hobby as fast as I did is because of channels like yours and Ryan and RC Informer and RC Jet Dude and RC Geek. These are all YouTube channels that I was watching all the time, and was able to a person that has the motivation, that wants to learn. The resources are out there for you to learn and really progress really fast in the hobby. And when it got to a point where I wasn't brand new anymore, because I still consider myself fairly new to the hobby, having been in the aviation side of things for the last 4 years. I have nowhere near the amount of experience that a lot of folks do. But when people start coming to me with questions, this YouTube channel was an outlet for me to be able to share a lot of the questions that people come to me with, share the answers to those questions. So I mean, that was part of my motivation was, hey, we've all got something of value. We all, everybody that does this YouTube thing, we all present our information a little different. And it's no less valuable coming from somebody, who's only been in the hobby 4 years than it does somebody that's been in the hobby for 30 years. We've all got different ways of explaining things and different ways of presenting things.
And a lot of
where
you guys have fresh ideas.
that's right.
I mean, I like the newbies because
They do things different.
They do things different. They think more out of the box. Than some of us old guys that's kind of stuck in our ways, but that's my opinion. I like to see everybody, and I was going to ask you about your experience with the people that you fly with. So how many are you a member of a club, and how many people fly at your club, and do you have a certain set of people that you fly with?
I do. I fly at Cobb County RC Modelers Club, which is, as a lot of folks know and recognize, the club that I fly at is the same club that Motion RC flies
I
their
thought
airplane
so,
at.
and I saw your pictures
so-
today when you sent them to me.
That's
Yeah. So,
Sorry.
the guys that I fly with, I fly with Patrick Crosdale quite a bit. Who you guys get to see flying a lot of these new motion planes. He's actually who taught me how to fly. Interesting enough, he was my flight instructor, long before Motion moved down to Atlanta. So I fly with him quite a bit. I obviously see James, on a decently regular basis, a few times a month. He's got a real job,
Right.
doing RC stuff during the week, and he does RC so much
Here.
that I usually don't see him when it's my time to go and fly
So,
airplanes.
so you just told me that you are in a very excellent environment to get a lot of food for thought and food for putting on your channel. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You're in a very good feeding environment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where you're at. So that's great.
Well, I'm in a place where the heckling and ridicule is absolutely unforgiving. Because y'all know James. Y'all know James. You've hung out with him, and man, those guys can give you a good ribbon. But
I fly too good for that. What are you talking about? Nah.
Yeah, but like Wesley and I talk about all the time is fly with your friends. And,
Oh yeah.
If you're out there having a great time, and even though they're heckling you,
When you make a bad landing, that's the best part when they give you a hard time.
Why do
about
you
it.
go out there in the first place? Because you like the camaraderie of the same kind of guys that's liking the same stuff you're liking. So it's a great place to enjoy yourself with other people, and that's the RC pilots just like you are. So I can't
absolutely.
talk enough about how much this sport brings people together. And also, what I really, Wesley and I really love to see is that father and son out there doing it together. Because
I tried to get Mike interested, but he was more interested in playing video games, messing around with Pokemon.
well, how old is he?
Oh, he's 18
well.
now, so and now he's got this, he's interested in girls, But what's funny is like the demographic of of my YouTube channel is a bunch of men 40 and up.
Oh yeah, so is ours. Don't worry. I don't think there's anybody that's under 25 that shows up in my analytics.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So at age 40, I
Rich.
think he'll be ready.
It's Rich. They can't hear him, but we can hear Rich.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Whoa.
You guys can't hear it right now, but we're getting our next guest queued up. We're going to have all of these guys in here hanging out tonight.
Well, I don't give up. What I want to tell you is, Dave, not to give up on that son. You keep asking him to go. I think if he'd ever get behind one, I mean, it's very rare that, I'm not saying this is for everybody, but I really believe that it's something that a person that is really into this gamey stuff, this is right down their alley. I mean, the thing is it's kind of exciting the first time you get one of these. My leg was shaking like crazy the first time I ever took a hold of one of these things, and I thought, man, I've got to master this. And it was like the biggest thrill in the world the first time I soloed. And I did about 14 bounces. But, I mean, don't give up on him and keep going, and you might be surprised. It took...
Yeah, so I'm glad you said that, because it does remind me, not only the Friends thing, but shaking like a leaf.
Oh.
The maiden flight of my F-18, the first time I flew that thing, I was scared. And, happened to be getting heckled by James and Patrick and all these folks that are, sitting there watching me, and ended up having to hand the controller to Patrick for him to land the thing, because I was shit, and I didn't calibrate.
So it was underpowered. I heard about
everything
this.
that could go wrong did. Oh, the thing was a dog, man, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm going to crash this plane, and I haven't even flown it once, and it's $600 about to go into the freaking drink.
But it doesn't matter. You was out there where you should be with the people that you should be with, and they were able to help you, and that's what we're talking about. There's no reason that if you're in the right environment that you should ever lose your airplane. you know, there's people's going to help you. I mean, I can't tell you how many people that's in the back of my mind that helped me over the years, and I'm just so appreciative of those people, and they're still there. I mean, I still am in contact. I'm still in contact with two of them that held my hand the first time, and some of them's pushing about 80 now. I'm 67.
And we'd like to get them on here
Yeah,
eventually.
we've talked about two of them, but you know what I'm trying to talk to you about, the friendships last for a long time, is I want to cut to the chase and just let you know that these friendships that you're going to make in this sport are going to last a long time. So enjoy it.
Oh yeah, it's a way different environment than the surface crowd that you know, the surface RC guys, especially like the guy, you know, I was racing like 10 scale buggies, and those guys are a bunch of jerks, man. The airplane people are way cooler.
Well,
It's clicky.
the other thing is that when I was flying, I only had that clique of those, maybe those 30 pilots that I was with my club. But today, Wesley and I, being on this YouTube channel, I don't know how many friends we got
Oh my
today.
gosh.
I mean,
and we
Wesley's
go to
got more
events
than
now,
I
and
do,
there's
but,
people everywhere.
I mean, I'm just blown away when we go to Null or.
oh my
somebody
gosh!
like
Now
that.
when I go to Null, it's funny how many people I actually know that go every year now. Oh my gosh!
And it's just, and it's like we know each other. We don't know each other by sight, but when they say I'm so, it's just amazing.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Eric. Yeah, Eric Quinn is one of them. He walked up. I'm Eric Quinn, you know, and we're like, who? He's like EQRC. We're like, oh hey,
Yeah. So
we see you in the show every week.
Right. So I actually had somebody at the field today, like I didn't recognize the guy, and he comes up and he's like, "Hey, Dave Marshall," and I was like, "Who the heck are you?" He's like, "I watch your show on YouTube." Like, get out of here, you know. So
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it?
it's
Oh
pretty
yeah.
cool.
You know, I'll never forget. You know, it's back to Eric again, and this was when we were just getting started. He came up and wanted us to sign his airplane, and I was like, "Are you kidding? You want me to sign your airplane?"
I'll never forget the first time somebody
Yeah,
asked me for my autograph.
we're like, really? Okay. You know, and that'd be crazy experience. You know. Oh,
See, that's why there needs to be more ladies in
I think Rich is
the
got
hobby.
his mic on or something. Some crazy echoes going on. And I don't think everybody else can hear it is the bad part. But we can.
What is it? You don't think everybody else can hear the echo?
No,
No. What you're hearing in the background?
we have no idea what's going on. We were trying to get Rich in here right now, and it's not working very well.
Well, we got an echo now.
Well, I don't think that the people out in YouTube land can hear it. Oh, did you
Hey,
resize
you guys
it?
are going
Or did it
everywhere.
resize itself?
We don't know what they're saying to us either.
Well, it's going crazy. I don't know.
Well, Dave, is there anything that you really want to get across to these people? Well, the
Yeah,
first
I mean,
thing we want
you're
to
here.
tell everybody is if you haven't subscribed to Dave's channel,
Yes, the RC Air Marshal.
do that.
Obviously.
I mean,
Obvious.
go over there and look at Dave and
Somebody
give
drop a
him some-
link in the description
Yeah,
for him.
And because the man has put some nice videos out, I think you're going to see nothing but better stuff from this man. And that's all we can do is ask you to go by and watch his channel, because
Am I
we
missing something
really
there?
believe that he's got a lot of good stuff going on.
Not working, huh?
I can't get a video.
Yeah, so
Is
I mean, I
there
guess the
another
thing that I would say to folks, you
Y'all
know,
talk for just a second.
that are coming to my channel is, you know, a lot of times you're gonna. I mean, I just like to have fun with this stuff, but you know, for the most part, you're coming along on a journey with somebody that's learning a lot of this stuff for the first time, just like they are.
Right.
And you know, I guess one of the big differences would be that I am kind of a super geek. So, you know, when I get something or when I dive into something to learn it, I'm gonna go to a ridiculous degree to, you know, to really wrap my hands around it. And then I want to to take that information and make it where I can share that knowledge with other folks. So, that was kind of the genesis behind, the AR-636 thing. That was something that I wanted to learn, and when I learned it, I realized that there, and ultimately that's what I'm trying to do with my channel, is cover the gaps where they exist in our hobby as far as like gaps of knowledge with the high techy stuff. So, that's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to do, and hopefully it's being conveyed well, and people keep watching and keep subscribing. I'm enjoying it so far.
Well, it comes out that way. I mean, I really feel that you've got the love for the passion and love for the sport of RC, and you're wanting to, just like you say, pass a little bit of that, maybe that knowledge that you're gaining along to somebody else. If you can help them just a minute amount, that's something that somebody else didn't do.
Yeah.
And that's what we're all out here trying to do. I think that's what Wesley and I are trying to do, is show how much we like these things and pass along a little bit of information that we feel would be a necessity to somebody else.
Well, Timothy Toutot, thank you for that super chat. Dave, we're going to get our next guest in here. You stay with us. We're going to all hang out together. It's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know if you've ever got to talk to Rich Baker, the RC Informer, before, but we're going to all be hanging out.
I've watched a lot of his videos.
Watched a lot of his videos, but had never talked to him in real life, huh?
Yeah, and this.
Well, here's your chance. So everybody, welcome Rich Baker, the RC Informer.
Yeah,
Let's get him in here.
This is a long way off.
Hey guys,
all the way in Orlando.
Yeah, he's a long way from us, all the way in Orlando.
About an hour's drive.
That's right.
So welcome to the show, Rich.
All right.
Yes,
you guys hear me
great.
okay? Everything good?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, I borrowed some of these earbuds from my girlfriend. It seems to be working out okay. So yeah, what you guys are talking about what's going on in the hobby and stuff. What are you guys talking
We've been
about
talking about some of what's going on in the hobby. We've been talking about Dave's channel, and he's kind of newer to YouTube, and we've been promoting him because he's been doing some great stuff for the hobby. Speaking of great stuff for the hobby, I know you put out a great video on the FAA rules. So why don't you take the reins for just a minute?
Yeah.
And talk about that. And Lori, if you wanted to try and cut his video
Rich,
just a little section of it, you might even.
You ask people
Might be too
to
difficult with all the stuff
comment
going
or leave a comment. I know that we talked once before, and you say, if you like this video, do all that for us, and make sure these folks, I think most of them do, but make sure you put that at the end of it.
What?
You're talking about the
yes,
FAA
very good
video I made, you mean? Yeah. I made a video, kind of addressing this NPRM deal that's going on that we all know about, and it's the 50 minutes, but there's a lot of content to it, and it's all about the FAA or model aviation drones and the FAA, and it's all the stuff that's going on now. And we all have to. The biggest deal is everybody has to comment by March 2nd. So if you're hearing any of this, everybody go to that FAA website and make the comments. In my video, I have a link below it. All the other videos that are out there, there's links below it. The flight test guys are doing that stuff. There's a kid with a YouTube channel called Initial FPV, I think it's called, and he put out a video like a week or two ago. It's got a lot of hits, and he's approaching it from more of a drone
perspective.
And FPV. Mine and us, we're more model aviation guys and stuff, and so. But he's got a real good video. He's got all the links there too. So anyway, below all these videos you're seeing, the biggest deal is everybody really needs to comment by March 2nd. Everybody keeps saying the same thing, that hey, the FAA is not going to pay any attention to these things, but everybody's saying no that they are, and I do know for sure. Last time I commented, nothing was paid any attention to. But don't let that dissuade you. I mean, that's about all we can do is open, just leave your comment March 2nd. Because I even talked to him on the phone last time, and I said we really ought to take the unmanned designation that just blanket covers everything and split it in half and turn, make half of it, and you'll see that in my video.
And we're going to play a little section of your
say,
video here in just a second, too.
Okay, and actually, you know what? If it's cool with you, I'll send you a text if that's cool to Lori there or you. And I should have sent you this before. Send you the graphic. Maybe you could throw that graphic up if that's cool. You think you can do that? And then kind of we can look at that.
Rich, you did say that your video would be viewed by somebody with the FAA,
Yes.
correct?
And I sent it off to them. I actually talked to the AMA about it, and they gave me the direct contacts to their government contacts at the FAA. So I went ahead and I directly to them. Okay.
Yes.
So they have it. And then Tyler Dobbs, the guy at the AMA, he said he watched it and he loved it too. And I know some other folks that know different FAA people, and they've all
She's
sent
got it
to
on
them.
screen
So,
right now.
That's still,
I'm hoping
but one of the things that we want to make sure that they understand that each one of you guys that fly RC needs to go into that web link and make a comment.
Right.
Please,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
If this
and I'm getting ready to do it too. I'm formulating mine because, obviously the text message is different than that of the video. So now that graphic you're showing up there, the drone pilots, if they didn't watch my entire video, they saw that part and they freaked out. And they're like, "Oh man, you're making us look bad there, and like we're the bad guys and stuff." But if you watch the rest of the video, you watch the next part. The next part shows a different graphic. If you're not, I don't know if you have that, but
she just fast forwards the video.
It divides the unmanned aircraft systems into the different types of operations, and then that's the graphic that shows really the different kinds of operations. You see, this is the one that, if you notice the last one, what it showed is that traditional planes, helicopters, gliders, and I was trying to simplify it for the FAA because I didn't want to throw anything too fast with them. If you mix things together, it confuse people too much. So, typically model aviation has been airplanes, helicopters, gliders, and then the side of it has been autonomous stuff, which has been multi-rotor stuff, which I don't really fly too much of, obviously. Flying wings, the stuff, and I was trying to split that up into two different types of vehicles, so the FAA understood that, hey, these are different things. The model aviation side of things we've been doing for over 100 years. Even the Wright brothers, had to build gliders and fly, model planes before they actually fly. So, and then this graphic that you see right here that she put up, this splits it up into this kind of operation. So none of these graphs are meant to be carved in stone, but this one between the hobbyist and the people that are flying in controlled airspace, flying autonomous drones, beyond line of sight, beyond visual range, populated areas, residential, commercial, a lot of stuff. So this is the chart that where you see on the side where it says hobbyist on the left side, it shows all the green stuff there. That's the stuff where I'm trying to tell the FAA, hey, you don't need to regulate that. Even if in the future they want remote ID on everything, well, for me, if there's a remote ID on 6 guys flying out at the dump, how's that going to help anybody? Watching 6 blips at the landfill flying around in circles is pointless. So the only purpose for a remote ID really is for something that can fly in controlled airspace or beyond line of sight or go somewhere where it could cause some kind of an issue. And even then, anybody who's doing something nefarious, they're not going to have remote ID on their machine. I've never been an anti-drone guy, and I want to make this clear to anybody that's watching it. I think kids building, when you see these kids building drones, building their own copters, flying around, I think that stuff is great. But the problem that we all have, and a lot of the drone guys don't want to, they don't want to admit to the fact that the early days of drone use, which went on in the last 5 to 10 years, guys were flying lawless because guys flew in places they didn't know controlled airspace. They guys shouldn't be flying over this city block or over these houses or over these people, on the beach and stuff. They never thought about it. Well, now, they kind of caught the attention of the federal government for all of us. And now the federal government's like, hey, look, we gotta regulate this. And in fact, the best example I can give everybody, if you haven't seen it, go see the movie The Great Waldo Pepper. Have you guys seen that?
I have. I'm
Yeah,
old
The
enough.
Great Waldo Pepper. Yeah, I mean, that's the greatest Redford. Everybody should go see that movie, because in the very beginning, you saw all these pilots coming back from World War I. They were buying up biplanes, Curtis Jennings and stuff. There was no FAA, there was no CAA, and these guys were barnstorming. They were flying, they were taking people on airplane rides. The sky was free. There were no airways, so you could go anywhere you wanted. And then it got to a point, it was like a Renaissance period. It got to the point where barnstormers were crashing, killing people, having all kinds of issues, and then the federal government stepped in. They called it the CAA initially. It became the FAA. It's grounded. You can't just fly anywhere you want and cause all kinds of hell and all that stuff. And they're like, well, what are you going to do, build highways in the sky? I remember Redford saying that in the movie, and he goes, yeah, we are. That's what's going to happen. There's going to be mail contracts. There's going to be passenger service. There's going to be all kinds of opportunities for you guys. And they're like, well, we don't want to do that. That's not any fun. We want to be able to fly wherever we want. They're like, well, sorry, that's not how it's going to be anymore. Everything's going to be regulated, and everybody's going to have to be licensed. And they're like, licensed? Are you kidding me? That encroaches on our freedom. So the same thing has happened with drones in the last 5 to 10 years. The drone users had no rules. We model airplane guys, we always had rules. 400 feet, because that's where controlled airspace. Controlled airspace generally starts at 400 feet. We've had like a 200 or 300 knot speed limit, 55-pound weight limits. You know what I mean? We've had those things. Nobody's ever enforced them because they really haven't been a problem until drones started flying all over the place. So I keep telling everybody, hey, the early Renaissance period of drones, that's exactly what early World War I flyers went through when they came home. And I think everybody's having a real hard time, especially the drone flyers. Can you hear me okay still?
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially the drone flyers, they don't understand why their freedom is being encroached on. They don't understand why, heck, even the flight test guys in the very beginning, they had a video out there, which they probably deleted at this point, and it said, and they had a lawyer on there who's now a lawyer for DJI, and he said they were all like, we need to fight for our right for flight. Those were the drone guys. They had a video that was titled that, and it was like, well, guys, it's not your right to fly wherever you want. It's not a right, it's a privilege. It's like driving a car or a full-scale airplane. So now we're all being grouped and lumped into this category of UAS.
Well, go ahead.
No, that's okay. And the thing is that we're trying to get the FAA to understand, and I hope some of the drone guys are taking it the wrong way, but I'm trying to explain to them, hey, look, you're not going to be able to just fly wherever you want anymore. Okay, you can't just.
Rich, don't you see the future of this? I mean, I'm going to make a prediction. I'm probably not going to be alive, but in the next 20 years, you're going to look up in the sky, and there's going to be things flying all over the place.
Because it's going to be Amazon and everybody else.
It's very possible. And here's the thing, is that no matter how much we talk to the FAA about them and convince them that what we're doing in model aviation is a worthy thing, because I started doing this when I was a kid, and I fly a Boeing jet now, so it's a great pathway for kids to move on to things. But no matter how much we say and how much we might convince them of this, whether it comes to package delivery by Amazon or UPS or all these guys, and then of course. Now Boeing, or not, I don't think, well, Boeing's probably working on it too, but Airbus and Uber, they now have pilotless passenger carrying vehicles that'll carry like 4 or 6 passengers. And we don't really know, nobody really knows, but the speculation kind of is that, the FAA is just trying to seize all the airspace from the ground up, so they can create maybe low altitude airways and things.
I think
so. So not only packages but passengers and stuff. And, well, if they've decided to do this already, I don't know how much we say is going to really help. However, for all of you that have seen the movie The Aviator, and you remember the fight that Howard Hughes had with the federal government, and he owned TWA, and the federal government allowed Pan Am to write a contract or write a CAB, it was called a bill, and the CAB bill. And what it was is it was going to allow Pan Am exclusive rights to fly the Atlantic, and nobody else could do it. So I ask myself that this new NPRM, I'm asking myself, who wrote this? Who wrote the words in this CAB, in this bill?
Yep.
Because it's really, it makes me think that, maybe Amazon and UPS and Airbus and all these companies that want to make money from this, maybe they're the ones that actually wrote the words of that thing. And if they want it, for example, in that thing it does say after a certain date, what was it, like 12 months or something?
Yeah, they can't make any new flying sites,
Yep.
which is
Yeah,
crazy.
That tells me right there they want the airspace. They want to own it, and they don't want to fiddle with. They don't want to build airways. Again, this is just me speculating, but they don't want to build structures or airspace or places for folks to fly these, Uber people around or packages, and then have to create a new flying site somewhere that's going to be in the middle of something. You know what I'm saying? Now,
we got to understand, living here where we're living on the East Coast and the congestion we have on our roadways today, there's only one way to go, is up.
oh yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry,
I know.
but I mean,
And here's the thing, I think we're gonna have some drones flying around and doing certain things. But when it comes to carrying passengers around, personally, I don't want to get in one. You know what I mean? The only unmanned craft that I can think, or I'd say the only passenger carrying craft that I can think of right now that anybody gets in is a rocket. You know what I mean? Like NASA used to launch the shuttle.
yeah.
And that's not being piloted by anybody but a computer. But then again, that's a rocket, and it's full of hydrogen and solid propellant.
That can blow up.
And that's a little risky.
Yep.
So, I'm thinking, if they can create a drone to carry 4 people around, I think it'll be fine until one of them falls out of the sky.
Well, yeah, but was that drone designed by NASA? I'm just saying.
Well, again,
I kind of trust those
who
engineers
knows?
a little better.
Who knows, maybe, but still, I mean, I don't know. I'm a little hesitant to get into you see quadcopters and drones fall out of the sky all the time, and I'm thinking to myself, now I know they have redundancy, they have dual rotors on each side and all that, but still, I mean, they did that thing out west in, what was it, Arizona? They were doing the driverless cars and stuff. And they had a guy in the car. This was like a year or two ago. They had a guy in the car to make sure nothing happens, and it still ran over somebody. So they cut that program and figured, okay, we had a driverless car with a driver in there for safety. And it still killed somebody. So I don't know how
Fast that's going to catch on. It could
funny.
happen eventually. I don't see that being.
It's funny, but I was in Washington, D.C. last summer, and I was downtown Washington, and I was in kind of between these 2 large buildings. I can't remember exactly where it was, but guess what was sitting inside and had this big tent and everything? It was a lobby to exactly one of those. I don't know if it was unmanned, but it had the 4 fans on each side, and they. So it tells me that there's something going on there when you see. I know they have, if they're having something new, but they were really whining and dining, those people in Washington, D.C. to look at this thing.
Yeah. So
it's out there.
The thing is you're right, and I wonder if we're even going to have a shot at this, because it just seems like the FAA has, and I don't know. I hope they don't, but and part of the video that I put out, I also say in there too that rather than the FAA trying to destroy this thing or end flying sites and track everybody with remote ID. I'm trying to say, well, the FAA really ought to, because we have a pilot shortage right now in the airline business. I mean, there's not as many, and I know over the last 3-4 decades I've been flying models. We've been losing fields left and right. It's harder and harder to get them, and people
then soccer fields and all that kind of stuff are going away to where we're not allowed to fly out of them.
Yeah. Just like you guys were talking about before I came on, mostly you get your audience is 40-year-olds and stuff. It's like, well, yeah, we're not getting kids involved in it anymore. So there's going to be less people like me who want to, fly a plane, or somebody that wants to be an aerospace engineer. I used to launch model rockets at the soccer field at the school across the street. It was awesome. Well, now you can't do anything anywhere. They don't want. I mean, we've kind of dumbed it down for everybody, and I think we do need to have some rules. But like for example, the city of Orlando.
Oh my God! You can't do anything in Orlando to have to do with an RC plane.
The city of Orlando, the city of Orlando has said this, not in so many words, but they've said it's too dangerous. Kids are irresponsible. You're all too stupid. So we're going to build you as many $30 million soccer fields as we can, and we're going to let you play with a ball on that field. If you throw anything that's an airplane, or if you have an airplane or a model of something, we're not going to let you do it. You just can't do it anymore. So it's like, well, where are people supposed to go to do this stuff and learn this stuff and practice this stuff? And I use in my video the example of Markham Park, Miami. Again, there's a lot in this video. My video is pretty long, but or I say Fort Lauderdale actually.
Yeah.
Markham Park in Fort Lauderdale is a 669-acre park down there, and they've got rifle and pistol ranges. They have a dog park. They may have a kayak lake. They have mountain bike trails. All kinds of shit. They got crawler tracks for RC cars and race cars.
Sounds
and they've
like
got
heaven.
a model airplane runway on the extent. It's like 800 feet long or something. It's huge. So and I think it costs like $36 a year to join that.
Sounds,
you know what I mean?
sounds like heaven to me. I want to go to this place.
Yeah, it's a public park, and I'm saying, why are we putting remote ID on stuff? Why don't we make more Markham parks, or make the parks in Orlando a joint use park?
Right.
Even if they say, okay, between 10 o'clock and 3 o'clock during weekdays, you can go fly a model airplane there. Because there's nobody there playing soccer. All the kids are in school. So they're not accommodating. The FAA should be talking to the cities and states and say, help us alleviate the problem. Let's make some more fields. Let's make a parks and recreation specific model aviation field, whether it's for airplanes, drones, whatever. And for the drone guys, I know guys that fly drones that they sneak onto private property, where there's an abandoned warehouse or something, and they'll go race around the warehouse, and they'll go up smokestacks, and they're shooting great video. They're really not doing anything wrong other than trespassing. Okay, but I'm trying to say that if the cities would just build drone parks, it would probably be a great money-making opportunity, just like a skateboard park or something. Skateboarders skate at skateboard parks now instead all over city streets and stuff, raising hell everywhere. Why not make drone parks so at least some facets of drone flyers could go and, I'm talking with like streams, trees, structures and stuff, so guys can fly around and race like crazy. Charge membership if you have to, but at least there'll be facilities for people to go fly at, and runways, you know what I mean? So rather than destroying it, I'm trying to tell the FAA, hey, why don't you just, you're supposed to enhance aviation. You guys, regulate airplanes and aircraft. Well, if you're gonna get in the business of shutting down model airplane fields or getting into this, why not create more of it so it gets the next generation involved with it, and then you're not going to need to track anybody. You're not going to need any remote ID. You're not going to need any of that stuff. You're going to know where everybody is. If Orlando had 4 model aviation parks, like one north, one south, one east, and one west, you wouldn't even really have complaints. You'd have drone flyers and pilots going there. I know drone guys, they like to fly. There's a lot of them. They want to fly wherever they want to fly. You know what I mean? And it's like, you really can't, to me, you really shouldn't be able to do that unless you're licensed, you're insured, if you're flying in the national airspace system, or if you're on private property. I think private property, you ought to be able to fly wherever the heck you want on that private property. So, but the FAA wants to regulate that too. Even if you have private property, if you own 700 acres, they want to own from the ground up. And it's like, well, how can you stop that? And that's kind of not right. You know what I mean? So, anyway, whatever.
So
anyway,
enough doom and gloom.
Let's do this. Let's make a challenge. I want to challenge everybody out there that's watching us tonight to go take 50 minutes or whatever it is to watch Rich's video, and then
comment on the FAA.
On the FAA.
It's up to you guys.
It's up to you. It's up to
save
me
this hobby.
To try to do as much as we can. And I know, Rich, that everybody is really wanting to see that plane. That Pitts and your other plane.
Yeah.
And
thank
let's
you
all
so
drool
much.
together.
But thank you so much.
Make him a little bigger
So what
here.
you're saying is I'm talking.
That's right. You're talking too much.
No, I'm thinking.
Well, let us get a finger in there.
But I really believe that the pit.
Now, let me ask.
I think you made a wonderful video. I think you know exactly what you're talking about, man. You're probably the best one out there that knows anything about this, and I give you kudos for that.
Real quick, Dave, have you ever flown a Pitts before?
I have not flown any biplane.
We gotta
And
change
for a
that.
long time, yeah, for a long time, I wanted one of the Wacos, because I just like the way that one looks.
Yeah.
But now that this big FMS 1400 Pitts has come out, and at the price point that it came out at,
Yeah.
that thing is ridiculous, man.
Yeah,
and
it's
I gotta
crazy.
get.
I know what
And I
Leslie's
think, I
gonna
think
say.
the original one was like $3. And when I saw $279, I was like, you got to be kidding me, because the original one, you had to glue this strut piece onto the fuselage. You had to either glue or screw in these wing struts and everything. And it was a little bit of a hassle putting it together. And it was an early generation FMS plane, so like the spinner didn't align. Like I did a lot of R&D on these planes for the factory many years ago, and even now I do some of it, but the spinners weren't aligned with the cowl and all that, so I gave them a lot of tips and stuff. And man, this thing, I was blown away when I put this together. I was like, oh man, it's a biplane, it's 2 wings, it's just kind of a hassle getting everything to fit. But man, was I wrong. I mean, like this thing, it just screwed together in like 15-20 minutes. I had the big pieces together. It was amazing.
Yeah, doesn't the top wing, like the whatever, the struts between the wings, aren't they set up to be kind of like the ordnance on a wing where they just snap on and off?
Well, what it is this centerpiece, and you can see I can lift it up with one hand by that part.
Yeah,
And the thing is this centerpiece, it's glued to the fuselage, and your wings, your 2 wing halves, there's a spar that goes between the 2 that puts them together, just like any other wing. And then it goes right on, and there's 4 screws up there. You're done. And they're machine screws. That's the nice thing. They're not self-tapping. Same thing with all the screws on this. They're self-tapping, or they're machine screws, except for there's one in the tail that plugs in right where the tail wheel mounts to the rudder, but that's a little one. It's not a big deal. But everything else is machine screws that go into metal threads. And so yeah, I got a video of it flying. We had high winds the other day, so that was the only. But I was kind of impressed. It flew great in high winds. So I did an unboxing of this, so you can see all the details on this. I did a flight video of this. Same thing with the Avanti. Well, both of you. We're gonna get this out there hopefully in another week, and we're gonna get a calm wind day flight, so I can really do more wind. But
Dave, being that you're new, I highly recommend you get a Pitts. They are fantastic airplanes to fly, and that has got to be the best one they've ever made. I had the E-Flight, and the Prometheus was okay. I still have it. It's still a great airplane, but it doesn't fly like a Pitts flies.
Yeah, this thing flies fantastic. I mean, I was kind of blown away by it. So there's 4 screws for the top wing,
Let me cut it in there.
4 screws for the bottom. There's 8 screws for the landing gear. The landing gear is pretty awesome because it's got this wire support. It's got plenty of movement to it. And then the tail had, I think, 3 screws, and then one for the tail wheel. And then your prop and spinner goes on. That was it. I was kind of blown away. Of course, they have a new battery tray in there that slides in and out, with the battery. That's how FMS has always done stuff. But it fit together perfectly. So I was blown away by it. And if you see that video, I mean, we had pretty high winds that day. Everybody landed. Nobody was flying. I got out there when it was windy. But I kept flying it around, and it handled the wind fine. I wasn't freaked out flying or anything. I will say this though, the CG was not where the book said that it was at. I think they said it was, I don't remember, 190 or something back. And I put the battery in, and where I put the battery on the tray and slid it forward and locked it, it balanced about 20 millimeters or something ahead of where the book said, and I just left it there. It flew great. So I'll get more detail probably on that. It's in the video a little bit, but I'll do a little more detail on that in the next flight. It's a little calmer out, but yeah, this thing is fantastic, and it's huge. If you want a big airplane, for the money, and there you can see in the video there. I mean, in the wind, it was handling the wind fine. I thought it was going to be all over the place for a biplane, but it was not. We got a pretty strong right crosswind. Some rotors coming off the buildings, the structures and cars and stuff from the right.
Yeah, Ryan's saying he flew his on a 5000 6S. Really liked it.
Yeah.
For a person that actually has built a biplane, it is very crucial to get the incidence on the wings correct.
The incidence on that wing.
The bottom wing has
Yeah.
positive and the top wing has negative. So actually the bottom wing starts flying first, and then when it gets leveled out, the top wing actually starts flying. So it's if you ever built one of these things, you'd rather bring it out of the box because the incidence on this is critical.
All right.
And if you don't, it flies like hammered poo-poo. I built.
And I tell you what, out of the box, it was fine. And I don't know if the early ones, like here, take a look at this, like the struts. I showed this in the video too. That's how easy the strut is to come on and off. So, and it has support going through here. This is foam and plastic, but it assembled this easy.
I put the
the
Prometheus
bottom.
together, and that wing was a pain in the tushies to put together.
Now, when I get it out in calm wind, I'll know a little better, but I suspect that it could, even though it flies fine just how it is, I suspect that it probably could benefit from maybe 2 wing wires.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean, like an
yeah.
X, just to stiffen it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll mess with it in calm wind and see better. I mean, it's fine as is, but I may run a wire or 2 to stiffen it up or something after I fly it the next time and kind of see how it does.
Yeah.
But and the original one from FMS, it had dummy wing wires. Like it had a spring, little rubber thing, so it didn't do anything other than just flap around and make noise. So
You know,
but who knows?
hey, you know another cool one though. Hey, Marshall, the UMX one. Have you ever seen that? The UMX pits. That one would be a good one
That
too.
is a super fantastic plane.
Me and him were both blown away with that. I know you've been flying some UMX stuff right now. You've already got the batteries. The UMX Pit is by far my favorite UMX plane I've flown.
And we flew it in wind like crazy, and I'm thinking, how in the world does this thing do that? But it was amazing.
Yeah, and that's stabilized, right? That has
AS3X
stabilizer
in it.
Yeah, I mean, that was amazing.
Yeah, see, now flying this out there, I had no stabilizer in it. I don't have any stabilizers like in any of this stuff that I make videos of. So it flies that good without any of that stuff.
And
so,
just to give him another
but-
quick little plug there, if you ever interested in putting in a stabilizer, the RC Air Marshal has some fantastic videos on doing it, and I'm glad he made them because I don't know ever how to work those AS3X receivers. But with your videos, I think I could do it, man.
Yeah, and you guys were kind of my inspiration for that, So I'd hear guys like you saying, "Man, I love AS3X, and I love when Biden fly planes come with AS3X, but there's no way I could ever program it." You saying that was part of my inspiration for making that series of videos. Like, I could make a series of videos where any dummy can do this.
It's difficult, and I don't know. We can pop him on the screen for a second with it. But
AS3X, yeah.
Sorry, guys, we're going to turn on the fan. I hope it don't interrupt the...
He's going to turn the fan on. It's getting hot in here. So take off.
No, that's cool. That's all good.
Yeah, you gotta get naked.
Well, anyway, no, we don't need to do that.
Yeah, right.
So, anyway, all right, well, here, let's see. Next up is one of my favorite planes here. Hang on a second. I just dropped some stuff.
I know, he's got the Avanti. I got a chance to see this.
Avanti,
So,
baby.
Dave, it was just saying a minute ago, his favorite jet is an Avanti. Now, this little Avanti, Dave, is a rocket ship compared to the other one.
Yeah.
But it's also like
This thing,
that big.
I remember, I don't know, a year or two ago, I don't remember when it was, when the first FMS Avanti, Flightline makes one too, and theirs is awesome. Theirs is an 80 millimeter. But in fact, I'm going to move this thing this way. Theirs is nice, and I remember getting this, I was like, oh my God. I thought the Futura was like the competition, for the free wing plane. But then this came out, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. They're doing another Avanti. We're having another on the market. And then I took it out there, and I was kind of like, this thing is so little. I kind of wonder what this is going to be like, flying it. And I was absolutely floored by the flight envelope of this, because not only will it fly fast, but it'll fly well slow too. And its slow speed handling is so awesome with the flaps. And you can build this thing with just 7 screws. That's the assembly process. There's really nothing to it. There's 4 wing screws here, 2 for each wing, and then there's There's 3 back here for the tail, and you're done. You're completely finished with putting this airplane together. You just get a 6-cell battery in it. The new plane now has a tinted canopy.
Yeah, I noticed that too. They got rid of the clear.
Yeah, and I've been conversing with the factory here a little bit, because when I flew it the first time the other day, and as soon as I took off, it was kind of unstable. It was jumping around all over the place. And I looked at the CG, and it measured back behind where they indicated it should be, behind this plastic piece. But it was kind of pitching and rolling. I was like, something's up with this thing. So I actually stuck 2 ounces of nose weight up here, and I balanced it about 10 to 20 millimeters ahead on the plastic, and then it was like a rock. So I sent some messages off to the factory, because I do still test fly this stuff for them and figure, solve problems. And I said, hey, did you guys, was there a weight that was supposed to be in those that you guys maybe forgot? Or is the fan, because it has a new fan, a new motor. I said, is the new fan or new motor heavier? And the reply I got is they said, yeah, actually, the fan is heavier. And I said, that might be what's throwing the CG off on mine anyway. I mean, who knows? But the bottom line is balance it on the plastic, a little bit ahead on the plastic. I'll try to get a little more exact in the next video. But it's rock solid on this. This thing is just outstanding. They changed the landing gear.
Yeah.
They put some trailing links back here. Same up front. I thought the original gear was cool. It was just straight up and down compression struts. And then of course they added some lights. Here, let me I'll plug this in here real fast to get this thing so to show you where the lights are. I'm probably going to add a few more lights to it as well. If I get
it looked really sweet. We got to see it at EDF Jet. No, it's not called that. Florida E-Jets. Rich had it with him. We didn't get a chance to fly it because it was so freaking windy. But
yeah, but you can see the light underneath in the center, and it's got the wing lights too. And probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to put more lights on this thing, because this is going to be my plane I fly a lot of places. I'm probably going to put one right in this wheel well and try it, or on the nose gear. I'll probably stick one in the back too, a white one, just for position. Because this plane's so versatile, it's so easy to fly. With the flaps down, it goes down to a crawl. It's just an awesome little pocket rocket airplane. And that's it. Oh, one more thing. You do have to glue your stall fences on your wing fences, these little things. I'll just put some foam tack and stuck those on. But out of the box, this is like the baddest little jet. The wings come off with 2 screws, not that you need to take them off.
It's tiny. Why would you take it apart?
Yeah, I know. But it has the wireless wing connectors that plug right in, so there's no wires there. You know what I mean? There's just those new
kind of like the E-Flight Mustang we just all tried.
Yeah, you can get that thing in the back seat.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, one of the things that I, am truly hoping for is that the way that they did the connectors, for the wingtips on that P-51.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That they figure out a way to do a quick disconnect system for the whole wing, or something that they can do like that to make the breakdown of airplanes just a snap.
Oh, it was great.
Oh, okay. Are you talking about that? Are you talking about that E-Flight?
The 1500 millimeter, yeah. It's a 3-piece wing.
The last foot of the wing just snaps off.
Now, do you like that?
We like it.
I love it.
Okay. Because it seems like it fits real nice, but I just wonder over
time. That's my problem.
How that snapping it on and off. It doesn't look like it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't look like that'll hold up for very long.
I don't know. So far, it's doing good.
And I kind of agree with you, but the thing that I noticed is that just looking through the list of spare parts, which I had to do, unfortunately. On the list of spare parts, they've got, that's just 2 screws holding that
plate,
that ball and socket, joint.
Right.
And you get a set of 2 of them for $5, so they thought about that they could be an easy wear and tear part, and they sell a set of 2 for $5. So it's user replaceable. It's not like you have to replace the whole wing. So I think that they did do a little bit of thinking ahead on that.
Yeah, and the other thing too is like we all do. I mean, the day that you drag a wing and you tear up that joint, you have a lot of damage there. I just think a solid wing is just always the best way to go. I know that breakdown of that is really nice. I like the way it comes apart. I think it's real easy to store. It's just that if you snag a wingtip, you know what I'm saying? You're going to take that whole joint.
Well, don't crash your airplane, Rich.
So-
Gosh. Terrible pilot.
What's that?
I said don't crash. What the heck?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm not talking about
He's talking about those other people.
I had to give you a little
you.
crap.
Anyway, whatever.
But I do,
I don't know. Air Marshal can tell us.
Funny
He
story.
stories.
You know, right before I had to look at the spare parts list, I may have had a not so great landing, and the wingtips broke away and were like hanging from the carbon spars, so it looks terrible. You know, as the plane comes in and it settles down, and I've got one broken retract flapping around,
Right.
that the wingtips were just hanging off, and so they broke away on their own,
Right.
you know, from the impact,
Yeah.
which was kind of weird.
Yeah. Were you able to put them right back on again? Did they go back on and
Oh
everything?
yeah, yeah.
Well, then that's good. That's a good thing then. Yeah. I mean, it's you know, you can only speculate stuff, but in practice, it sounds like that's pretty good. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, you never know. And I was surprised how well that the seam actually matches up on that wingtip too. Like you snap it in and you can't see it.
You know, the funny part is back in the days of wood airplanes, it was nothing to take the wing off and put it bolted on. And
I know, and now we're like, oh my gosh, I got to take the wing off of this thing.
I don't know. I just don't. It's something about these foamies that I don't like to take the wing off.
I don't like to take them apart to begin with.
I mean, but
if it don't fit in the car, I don't want it.
I don't have that big a problem transporting them.
No.
I
got a 12-foot trailer. It fits in there easy now.
But it's funny. I'm just saying it's funny that back in the day, wood airplane, I'd tear the wing off and plug all those plugs in and out and never thought a thing about it. Now I get these and I don't want to do it.
I hate taking airplanes apart, but if you're going to a big show like Joe and all,
You got to.
you can take more airplanes if you can take.
Oh,
them.
yeah.
No, I agree with you. If you're
Yeah.
going somewhere like that, you got to take them apart to take all the pieces.
You only took about 30.
Yeah, I usually take like 20 or 30 bucks. But that's a lot of times why I like a lot of the FMS wing design, because 4 screws, like even the A10 is that way. The P-47 Thunderbolt, you could take 4 screws out and the wing's
Stick your
unplugged.
face
You
in
don't
front
have
of
a wire to plug in. You just have those wireless connectors. You know what I
Do
mean?
it. Come on. Do it.
So
Come on.
yeah, they're nice. They make it easy. So anyway, I am getting ready. I'll change the subject here.
Okay.
I'm getting ready to put out a video here shortly of these wing plates.
Oh, yes. He wanted to talk about his F-14.
Yeah, I
Tomcat
put out some
plates.
videos on the Tomcat a while back, and one of them was a kind of a building kind of a thing, and the other one was to strengthen the landing gear, because the landing gear, the old plate looked like this. This is the thing that supports the landing gear, and you can see the difference. Can you see that okay in the video?
Yeah, and Lori just ran off, so I can't make you bigger right now.
That's okay. That's okay. I can make it bigger here. I'll go like this. I can walk.
There you go. There you go. Hey, look at that.
So this is what the original plate looks like, and the landing gear bolted into these 2 screws, and it just hung off the end. So anytime you would land, it would twist. The landing gear would kind of bend. So this actually fully supports that. So, and I made these not this set, but I made this set by hand. To make the wings or to make the landing gear a lot stronger. So, and then I also made this. This is the one-piece battery tray that joins the front and the back half. It makes the fuselage a lot stronger. Plus, there's 3 straps, so you can really slide your batteries around. 2 of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you got 2 in that F-14.
Yeah, so, and plus I like to fly inverted a lot, you know what I mean, and give people the finger in that Tomcat. So with this thing, it really holds the batteries down well. So that's the nice thing is, before it was just like, there was 1 strap for each battery, and if you do anything negative with it, G-wise, the batteries are gonna fly out. So anyway, Dustin Holloman, he's one of the guys on the Motion RC Facebook page, and he's constantly chatting and stuff with it. But he contacted me. He's like, "Hey, I got the machinery to make that stuff because, like, it took me a week to make a pair of these. Using my bandsaw, my drill press, and I had to make it exactly. The holes had to be, identical, to this thing. So, because it fits in that wing with a whole bunch of screws. So, but he's like, I can make that. And I'm like, well, that's going to be a lot of trouble. It's going to be kind of a hassle. And Alpha at Motion RC was going to send me the CAD to actually make this. And apparently it's on the free wing list to send me, but they never sent it. So anyway, whatever. They're busy, so that's cool. Dustin went ahead and made it. We talked about it. We actually simplified it because if you watch my video on it, we used to have a tab right here sticking out to join the two halves together. But we decided we didn't need that. He put it in his airplane, and it's a real easy sell. So anyway, he's selling this. He's going to be selling these two wing plates, okay, for your Tomcat. He's going to have these two pieces. So if you watch my video, these are the two. It basically makes
Make
like
him a
a
little bigger so
T-beam.
you can see what he's saying.
It basically makes like a T-beam or an I-beam out of this structure. So, and then there's also going to be the bag of screws and blind nut and everything that you need. So all you got to really do is watch the video I make, and it shows you how to put these things in there. So now these are kind of expensive to make. It's not like these are made in China, you know what I mean? And they can, zap 1,000 of these out at a time for 2 cents each or something. So he has to actually make these. So when I put the video out, and even now, you guys can contact Dustin Holloman. I'm gonna put the video out here shortly. We're gonna whoever wants these can just send an email to Dustin, find out what everybody wants, because they may want this whole thing as a kit, or maybe guys just want this tray, or maybe guys just want the wing platters here. So, but anyway, that's gonna be coming out. So stay tuned on my channel. I'll have this video out here probably within the next week. And then once Dustin gets all these together and finds out how many people want them, he's going to produce them, in his machine shop and mail them off to everybody. So it's not a money making thing. We really didn't even want to get into all of it, but a lot of people were asking for it, and we said, okay, let's go ahead and make them.
Right.
So he's got the machine shop to do it. So anyway, but stay tuned. These will be available pretty soon, and you guys can start contacting Dustin now if you know him already, but I'll have that all in the video and the links of getting this kit, and so you can get your Tomcat and you can land and take off on grass, and you don't have to worry about it. So anyway,
Freaking awesome, dude. Well,
that is that. So
I think we are going to wrap it up, man. This is the time to go around and make sure everybody knows who everybody is. Guys, if you will, if you're both still able to, drop your links down in the chat for everybody. We've got Rich Baker from the RC Informer. Drop a link down in the chat for him. And we have Dave Marshall from the Marshall, let's see, I'm saying it wrong, the Air Marshal.
RC Air Marshal.
RC Air Marshal channel. I'll get it right eventually. Sorry, Dave.
It's cool, man.
It's okay. You know what the important thing is? He's going to drop his link in the chat right now for you. And if you click there, you can subscribe to him. I highly recommend it. He does a live show every Monday night, guys. Marshall Mondays.
Yeah,
get in there.
These guys are putting a lot of work into their channels. They're trying to get a lot of information out to you. I can't say enough for both of these guys how hard first they enjoy their sport. Number two, they're trying to share a lot of stuff and try to make yours a little bit better. So you can't ask for any more than that from either one of them.
There you go. Lori just dropped RC Informer's link.
oh, you did? Okay, I was just getting on that. I didn't know I was supposed to.
It's all good, man. We got you.
That's cool.
We had it ready. So there is his link also. Make sure you grab both of these guys if you don't already have them. Go check out their channels, guys. They are fantastic YouTubers. And whether it's one that's been around forever or up and coming, you've got both ends of the spectrum tonight. So,
And you got the boozers.
and you got the boozers in the middle. That's right. These guys that don't know what they're doing, but I guess we're having fun at it, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, but
So
All right.
Yep.
we're gonna
Hey,
let.
I just dropped, to make sure I did that, I just dropped a link for my FAA video. See if you guys
Yeah,
can
we
get
see
that.
it.
So you guys can
Please.
watch that and pass
Yeah.
it around. That'll
Yeah,
help.
we
please,
see that
guys,
too.
go watch that
Um,
video and please make a comment back to the FAA. If we
Air
say
Marshal?
anything tonight, that's the number one thing we want you to do.
Air Marshal, when does your live show start again?
It is 8 o'clock on Monday.
8 o'clock on Mondays.
8 o'clock Eastern.
I like 8 o'clock Eastern. That's a good time. Maybe I'm a little biased, but that's what time our show's at. So I think I can remember that.
Yeah, I didn't want to go too late on a Monday night. You know, I really wanted to do my stream on Fridays, but there's some other Dave that does that crap.
Dang it. I don't even know if he's in here tonight. Oh, well. Well, guys, once again, thank y'all so much for being here. It's always fun hanging out with all our buddies here on the live show. Great information going all around tonight, and I had a lot of fun. So, let's see. Which one of you wants to count us out of here? Y'all want to do it together here?
Count you out.
Are we ready? We're going to go 5,
4,
4,
3,
2,
2,
1.
Guys,
Go fly with your
go
buddies.
fly
guys.
with your buddies. Get out of here. We'll see y'all later.
y'all.
Good night, guys.
Good night,
Yeah.
guys.